All right, so back down south in a spring-fed creek in South Georgia, and first turtle of the day is another perfect little Barbours map turtle. Super psyched. This is the species I always come down here for. There are several others that'll be fun to find, and kind of this time we're going to do a lot more GoPro action. So let's get the GoPro out and film this guy swimming around on the bottom. All right, so here I am back in South Georgia in this spring-fed creek, and what is cool about this is the water is crystal clear. You have the ability to just see straight down to the bottom. You can see all the turtles, all the fish. It just makes it so much easier. So what I'm doing right now is I'm hopping off the kayak and just kind of walking and scanning the bottom and then finding things kind of as I go. So I'll take you guys along for the ride with me. Alright, so we just came up with this young Barbours. You can see it's got like a big, probably some kind of bite out of the marginals here. But yeah, it was a pretty good little chase trying to capture it through the logs and stuff. I kept getting hung up on sticks and logs, and it's pretty cool. But pretty turtle. I'm not used to seeing them this color. Up where I usually catch them, there's much more orange, but these are more of a gray, like a grayish, bluish green. But very, very cool turtles. You can see the spines that they have when they're young. It starts to smooth out as they get older. All right, so I just got this big female loggerhead musk turtle. Just like last time, kind of kayaking along, and then saw she was actually hanging onto a log, but all I could see was this part of her shell, kind of the side of her, and she was just kind of hanging on. So I reached over, picked her up, and that's pretty good size for a loggerhead. Just like last time I was down here, they're really big. These older loggerheads are really big turtles for the type of turtles that they are. And you can see why they call them a loggerhead. She's got that huge head, you know, well adapted for eating snails, and just a cool turtle. That is a big mama. All right, in this shallow area of limestone, caught this little river cooter. There was several of them with their heads up, and they're all just tucked in all this limestone, feeding on the algae that's growing on it. So we're gonna let this guy go and go back to eating algae and hiding out in his little hidey hole. On this old yellow-bellied slider hiding out underneath this log. First turtle of this second day down here, and so off to a pretty good start. There you go. That's why they call him a slider. The next turtle today is another little Barbours. This place is absolutely filled with these guys, and they like to get into places to bask that have a whole lot of branches, and when they jump off, a lot of times they don't even go to the bottom. They're actually just going to kind of find some low branches underwater and kind of hang on to those. So that they don't get washed down in the current. But again, typical little baby Barbours, got the little spikes on the back, nice serrated marginals, And again, compared to where I'm used to in the upper Flint, these guys tend to be more green, whereas in the upper Flint, they tend to be more orange. So it's an interesting little geographical variation, but couldn't be more stoked. Always fun to find these guys, and down here, they're in such high abundance that it's just really fun to see them and to see them doing their thing. So we're gonna let this guy go and put him on this branch. All right, first river cooter of the day. This little juvenile that was in some branches, and we reached over and grabbed it. So pretty fun. It's always fun to use the kayak to get out and catch these guys. Sometimes you can get a lot closer on a kayak than you can otherwise. So I'm gonna let this little turtle go. Watch it disappear into the creek. Woo! All the way to the bottom. Big girl Barber. Look at that. That's what you come down here for. Finding big Barbours map turtles. She's missing a foot right there. She's definitely missing a foot. Overall, that is a nice big map turtle. Got a big set of jaws on her. She was just hanging out down at the bottom. All right, so I caught this female Barbours map turtle. She was sitting on the bottom, just kind of wedged between some limestone. And there's nothing cooler than coming up on these guys and seeing them underwater. Just the way they look underwater and how well they actually blend in with their habitat is pretty amazing. And just like the other Barbours map turtles I showed you in a previous video, you can see how expanded their jawline gets to adapt to eat all those clams, all those mollusks, snails, crayfish, just all kinds of things. And then the males, the funny thing is the males are less than half the size. This is probably a 12-inch map turtle, and a male will only be about 4 inches. So some of these females will have heads bigger than a full-grown male. So this girl's really pretty, and we're gonna let her go. But I just wanted to show you guys the Barbours map turtle. These are some of the coolest turtles on the planet, and I was really glad I was able to come down here and get to find one underwater. And this time we did it with the GoPro, so this time we did it right. You're a hard one to find. Got a dent right there. What a pretty turtle. Look at that. Beautiful Barbours. Awesome, awesome. Look at that head. Just want to give you guys some shots of just how broad that head is. Get her in the water and get it to kind of stick out. That is just really awesome. You can see how the shell kind of adapts to make up for how large that head is. Their shell kind of grows around it. You can see just the color on her. She's just so well adapted to hide on the bottom. Look at that. That is so cool. Such an amazing turtle. If you look at her nostrils, they're like bright yellow inside there. It's really cool. They have such like interesting pigment. Just the pigment on the edges of the jaws, the blue on the top of the head. Just beautiful, beautiful turtles. I had to jump out of the kayak real quick and grab this one. I just kind of saw it on the side, and big female river cooter. And as you can see, she's huge. They're really big in this creek. Last time I was down here in the same area, caught one almost a little bit, maybe a little bit bigger than this one, but about the same size. And just really, really impressive turtle. Look at the size of that river cooter. That is way bigger than my head. This big turtle. All right, so this is a small female Barbours map turtle. You can tell by the small tail. And she was just hanging out on a stick back there, and I was able to kind of jump off the kayak and reach over and grab her. And as you can see, she's starting to get that little bit of blue tinge on her head that you see on the adult females. They'll start to get a little bit of a blue color on there. And just a perfect little Barbours map turtle. All right, so here it is. This is after catching a few females, I was on the lookout for a male. I wanted to be able to show you guys what a full-grown male looks like. And this is actually a big full-grown male. And this is about a 4.5 inch turtle. And you can see that these guys have such brilliant colors. You can see like the bright yellows, there's like peaches and pinks. The males are much more colorful than the females. And they're just, look at that, so much smaller. They don't develop those hugely enlarged heads like you see in the females. So instead they kind of retain more of the juvenile shape, more of the juvenile pattern. But just look at what a pretty turtle that is. Just so brightly colored. He's got a little bite out of that foot. But if you put him in the water, you can really start to see some of those colors in the water. Such a pretty turtle. And just has that kind of classic map turtle look to it. Look at that. What a pretty turtle. Look at that bright yellow, bright orange eye. That is one of the prettiest of the North American turtles. Some of these map turtles in the southeast are just absolutely gorgeous. Some of the colors that they have, you know, you would just never really expect to see on a turtle. So really stoked I was able to find this guy and finally able to show you a full-grown male and how just completely different they are than the females. It's pretty crazy to imagine that this guy's able to saddle up and mate with a female, but as you can see, he has that long tail. So that long tail is what enables him to mate with the females, because it's able to reach down to the edge of the female shell and he can actually successfully mate with her. So pretty cool. And yeah, so appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like, all that kind of stuff. Tell your friends to subscribe, share these videos, all of that. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And I'm gonna go let this little map turtle go right here. See you later, friend. All right, see you guys. There's so many of them here, and a bug flew in my mouth. All right.